Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the long-term perspective on Bitcoin, and we're also going to be talking about the short-term perspective. Now, the cool thing is the long-term perspective right now helps to frame the short-term perspective. I'm going to show you why $114,000 to $117,000 is an incredible place to take long-term investment positions on Bitcoin. In my opinion, that's what we're doing. And I'm also going to show you a pattern that I think is going to form over the next couple of days that will end up giving us a bottom and a breakout that we can trade long. So let's get started. I'm really excited about this chart that I saw today from Crypto Kid. Going to show you this on our chart. Absolutely phenomenal chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. If you go out to the monthly chart on Bitcoin on the regular chart, you can see that there is an uptrend here that connects the 2017 bull market all-time high, the 2021 bull market all-time high, and the previous Bitcoin bull market all-time high at 109. And when you see this chart, it kind of makes sense that Bitcoin needed to drop off of 123 back down to 117 to fall back under this uptrend. The question becomes then, are we going to see Bitcoin stay under this uptrend? Lord, no. Bitcoin is going to go through a much larger rally because we have a much more aggressive uptrending level of resistance that is giving us direction now than we ever had before. And it's this long-term uptrending level of resistance. No, Bitcoin is not done with this uptrend, but it does make sense that Bitcoin had a bit of a correction because when you hit an almost 10-year long level of resistance, it's going to take a little, some people are going to be taking a little bit of profit. So helps us to have some confidence that this rally is not over. Bitcoin is just having a healthy corrective movement. Now, looking down on the shorter term time frame, why are we seeing this correction from that perspective? From the long-term perspective, it makes sense because we're correcting under that uptrend. However, from the shorter term perspective, something I want to point your attention to is the Bitcoin futures. You see, Bitcoin broke bullish here last week, and a good bit of that happened when the CME futures were not opened. And so what we saw was Bitcoin formed a head and shoulders pattern. It left a gap between $114,360 and $115,710. This head and shoulders pattern has a neckline right there. If we draw the price target, that price target points us right back down to about 110. Is Bitcoin going to 110? Almost certainly not. But could Bitcoin drop down here to fill the CME futures gap and then come back down to the level of resistance that Bitcoin broke based on this inverse head and shoulders pattern and backtest it? Absolutely. If you guys will remember to our tweet from a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago, we predicted this breakout about 4 hours before it happened. And one of the things that we talked about was the likelihood of Bitcoin dropping down to $112,000 to backtest the previous all-time high after we hit a price target of 115. Now, Bitcoin obviously rallied much higher than 115 before we saw that corrective movement, so it makes sense that we wouldn't necessarily drop all the way back down to 112, but we could drop back down to this uptrending level of resistance, which is now support, which is at about 113, thereby filling the CME futures gap and giving us an excellent entry on Bitcoin for the long term. Bitcoin at $113,000 would be retraced 7.5% from all-time high. So from that point in time, you're already getting a really strong entry. And then if we go to 150, you're going to see about a 20 to 35% rally on Bitcoin, depending on exactly where we go and exactly how far down you get an entry. So for me, I'm very excited about the possibility of Bitcoin dropping down there, and it is something that we're looking at right now because as we speak, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to break below this level of support at about 116,500 to about 116,800. You can see Bitcoin has been probing this for the last several days. We've got this downtrending 20-hourly exponential moving average that Bitcoin is rejecting off of. So a drop down to 113 to 114 at this point in time is something that I would personally believe to be highly likely, probably happening this afternoon. However, if that happens, what are we forming? Come on, say it with me now. For all of you guys who have gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, right? You've been through CT2A, you've watched all the videos. What are we forming? Most likely, we would form an inverse head and shoulders pattern if we were to drop down to 113 to 114. That would end up most likely generating a right shoulder. Now, we're speculating here, but hopefully this would generate a right shoulder. You see an inverse head and shoulders pattern form, and if you did, you would have a price target like this that would point right back at all-time high, and perhaps you're seeing an all-time high run back up to 123 by the end of this week. So this is something to look out for. A drop down to 113 to 114 should not be seen as something scary. It should be seen as an understandable and frankly small correction considering the fact that we broke an 8-year-long uptrend of resistance. Oh my goodness, how bullish can you be? And from that point in time, a correction excuse me, not a correction, a rally off of 113 as our new support would be extremely powerful. Now, I don't know about for you, but for me, it's almost easy to forget about everything that happened on Bitcoin before we broke all-time high and say, okay, all of Bitcoin's history is contained within the last 5 days since we broke ATH. But that's not fair. If we look at the rest of the market, you're going to see that Bitcoin was stair-stepping up, not on the tops, but on the bottoms. Bitcoin set strong support at 100,000. Then it set strong support at 105. Then it set strong support at 108. It makes sense that now Bitcoin is going to want to set strong support at 112 as we start setting higher lows and higher lows and higher lows and stair-stepping our way all the way up to $135,000 to $150,000 in the month of August. So what should we do here with this information? From an investment standpoint, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but I will tell you what I'm going to do. If Bitcoin drops down to 113 to 114, I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy a lot of it because I don't think that Bitcoin is going to be done with this rally until we've hit 135 to 150 for reasons we've talked about in plenty of other videos. And so if we drop down to 113 to 114, that is going to be my signal to enter into long-term investment positions on Bitcoin, even more so than the several $100,000 of investments that we've already made in Bitcoin this year. And so that is something that I'm very carefully watching right now, looking for those long-term entries on the investment side. From the trading side, if Bitcoin does drop down to 113, I do not, and I want to be very clear with this, I do not recommend you short the market. It's dumb to short Bitcoin. Don't sell, try to buy back in lower. Don't get fancy. Just take the good discount and walk with it. But if we do drop down to 113, 114, whatever, then that gives us an excellent opportunity to say, okay, the bears are exhausted. Now we can start longing on this next run up. At that point in time, you're going to want to look for things like breakouts above the 20-hourly exponential moving average. And then those are breakouts that we can trade. Those are breakouts where we say, look, Bitcoin has broken this level of resistance, so we can expect, hey, Bitcoin might rally 0.25%, it might rally 0.5%. If you're using a little leverage safely and conservatively, then you can end up making a pretty penny on those kind of breakouts. So I don't like shorting Bitcoin, so I have been out of the trading game on the way down here, waiting for the longs to resume, waiting for the uptrend to resume. That's when I'm going to resume trading, because in a just an impulse wave like we're seeing on Bitcoin from 100 to 150, I'm not shorting. I'm sorry. I know some people are, but I don't feel like getting liquidated. So I'm not trading on the short. But when Bitcoin does start rallying again, I'm going to start trading again. And I'm going to be looking for some 20 to 40x entries on Bitcoin with extremely tight stop losses. I'm talking like 1% stop losses, and just pick those major rallies. That's what we did in our trading group, the first cohort Discord server, when we broke out here in 2 minutes. We made 23%. Bitcoin rallied from 120. We watched the breakout down on the 5-second chart as a group. We traded it. I got in, I got out in about 2 minutes. We made 23% in 2 minutes. And frankly, I exited just a little bit too late on a couple of those trades. It could have been more like 35. But I was very happy about that. We'll be looking for more trades like that in the first cohort trading group. If you want to trade with us, I highly recommend you check out the link in the description box down below to join the first cohort. When you join the first cohort, you're going to get access to the first cohort Discord server, and we've had a great time talking with each other here in the Discord server and trading together. So I'm very much looking forward to you being in there. And one of the cool things about the way that we're running first cohort is that if you sign up for our exchange, 2Bit, our exchange partner 2Bit, then you can actually get access to the Discord server for a year for free. Now, I don't know how much longer I'm going to run this for, because it's a really good deal. But right now, if you sign up for 2Bit and you deposit $100, I'm going to give you your first year in the first cohort for free. So sign up with our link down below, deposit at least $100, and tell me in good faith that you're going to be using 2Bit as your exchange. It's a great exchange. It's the best exchange. You definitely ought to use it for your trading, and I will let you into the first cohort for a year for free. All you have to do is come back on over to the website, enroll in the course, select the annual subscription, and what I will do is I will go ahead and refund you the first year of the Discord subscription, and that'll be your first year free. So make sure to go ahead and sign up right here with the annual plan, and we will refund you that entire first year. If you sign up with 2Bit, deposit $100, and tell me that that's where you're going to be doing your trading, we will let you into the Discord server for free for a year. I don't know how much longer I'm going to run that promotion, because it's a really good deal. So make sure to check that out. Also, if you use coupon code JEB20, JEBB20 at checkout, you will get 20% off of the Financial Sovereignty Academy for 2 more days. I plan on ending this on Thursday. So if you want to get into CT2A for 20% off, then you should do it before Thursday. Use coupon code JEB20 at checkout to get into the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy before the end of July 17th. Where's Bitcoin going? Up, up, and away into the stratosphere. But we obviously have to have healthy corrections. And if Bitcoin does drop here from 123 down to 113, an 18% drop, sorry, an 8% drop, that is very much in the territory of what we would consider healthy. It's very much in the territory of something that we would be looking forward to because we get to get lower entries. Not something we should complain about. The uptrend is soon to resume, and Bitcoin is most likely going to at least $150,000, if not as high as $200,000 this year, and potentially as high as $500,000 by the end of this decade. Do not fade Bitcoin. Do not skip out on making investments in Bitcoin. It will be one of the biggest regrets of your financial life. And if you want to learn more about where the markets are going, short-term, long-term, investing, trading, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, you found the right channel. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for being alive and being here as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.